A woman was caught with drugs in her hand by a cop while in the bathroom of a nightclub. The woman swears that the drugs are not hers and promises, "They aren't mine, I found them here and I tried to flush them down the toilet. However, every single time I flush the drugs down the drain they just keep reappearing magically in my hands or my pockets." The cop, obviously in disbelief, tells the woman, "Show me." So the woman tosses the bag of drugs into the toilet, then flushes it. The bag swishes down. The cop then stares at the woman's empty hand as the bag is flushed down. "Well," says the cop, "where are the drugs now?" "What drugs?" OMG. I was sitting in the Nordstrom bathroom stall and had just sat down when a voice in the next stall over said, "Hi. How are you?" Embarrassed, I said, "I'm fine." The voice continued, "So what are you up to?" I said, "Just sitting here like you." Then the voice said, "Can I come over?" Thoroughly annoyed and somewhat alarmed at this point, I said, "Sorry, I'm kind of busy right now." Suddenly the voice says loudly, "Sorry, I'm going to have to call you back. There's some idiot next to me answering all my questions." A nun, really needing to go to the bathroom, walked into a neighborhood pub. The place was hopping with music and dancing, but every once in a while, the lights would turn off. Each time after the lights would go out, the place would erupt into cheers. However, when the revelers saw the nun, the room went dead silent. She walked up to the bartender and asked, "May I please use the restroom?" The bartender replied, "I really don't think you should." "Why not?" the nun asked. "Well, there is a man in there, and his most private part is covered only by a fig leaf." "Nonsense," said the nun. "I'll just look the other way." So the bartender showed the nun the door at the top of the stairs, and she proceeded to the restroom. After a few minutes she came back out, and the whole place was hopping with music and dancing again. However, they did stop just long enough to give the nun a loud round of applause. She went to the bartender and said, "Sir, I don't understand. Why did they applaud me just because I went to the restroom?" "Well, now they know you're one of us," said the bartender. "Would you like a drink?" "But I still don't understand," said the puzzled nun. "You see," laughed the bartender, "every time the fig leaf is lifted on the statue, the lights go out in the whole place. Now, how about that drink, sister?" A little boy wakes up one night and realizes he needs to use the bathroom. He runs downstairs to the living room, where his mother is having a party with her friends. "I got to pee," yells the little boy. "I got to pee." The mother takes her son to the bathroom. "Son," she says, "we do not yell the word pee when grown-ups are around. Next time, just whisper, okay?" The next day, the boy wakes up again and realizes he needs to use the bathroom. He runs downstairs to the living room, where his mother is continuing her party from last night. "I got to whisper," yells the little boy. "I got to whisper." The mother, relieved that her son was more discreet than last time, takes her son to the bathroom. "Well done, son," she says. "That was much more polite." The next day, the boy wakes up again and realizes he needs to use the bathroom. He runs downstairs to the living room, where his father is watching a football game. "I got to whisper," yells the little boy. "I got to whisper." The father says, "Son, come and whisper in your daddy's ear." So there were 3 mathematicians and 3 engineers, and they were all traveling to the same conference. At the train station, the mathematicians each bought a train ticket, and the engineers only bought one to share between the 3 of them. "What a bunch of idiots," the mathematicians said. "When the ticket master comes through, they'll be kicked off the train." Sure enough, on board the train, they could hear the ticket master in the next car saying, "Tickets, please." The 3 engineers ran into the train bathroom and closed the door. The ticket master came in and knocked on the door and said, "Tickets, please." They slipped the ticket under the door and the ticket master moved on. "That's brilliant," the mathematicians exclaimed. "We should do that on our way home." After the conference ended and they were traveling home, the mathematicians all bought one ticket to share between them, and the engineers didn't buy any ticket at all. "What a bunch of idiots," the mathematicians said. "What are they going to do when the ticket master comes through? They'll be kicked off the train." On the train, they soon heard the ticket master in the next car saying, "Tickets, please." All three mathematicians ran into one bathroom and closed the door. All three engineers ran into the other bathroom and closed the door. As soon as both doors were closed, an engineer came out of the bathroom, knocked on the mathematician's door, and said, "Tickets, please." Little Johnny woke up in the middle of the night and went to the bathroom. On the way back to bed, he passed his parents' room. When he looked in, he noticed the covers bouncing. He called to his dad. "Hey, Dad, what are you doing?" The dad answered, "Playing cards." Little Johnny asked, "Who's your partner?" The dad answered, "Your mom." Little Johnny then passed by his older sister's room. Again, he noticed the covers bouncing. He called to his sister. "Hey, sis, what are you doing?" The sister answered, "Playing cards." Little Johnny asked, "Who's your partner?" She answered, "My boyfriend." A little later, Dad got up and went to the bathroom. As he passed Little Johnny's room, he noticed the covers bouncing. He called to his son. "What are you doing?" Little Johnny answered, "Playing cards." Dad asked, "Really? Who's your partner?" Little Johnny answered, "You don't need a partner if you have a good hand." Jim and Edna are both mental patients. One day Jim jumps into the swimming pool but doesn't come up for air. Quick as a flash, Edna sees her friend in trouble, so dives in and pulls him out. Later, the hospital director calls Edna into his office and says, "Edna, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is, we are releasing you as you are obviously sane, saving another life. But unfortunately, the bad news is that Jim hanged himself in the bathroom." "Oh no," Edna replies, "that's where I put him to dry." A drunk gets up from the bar and heads for the bathroom. A few minutes later, a loud, blood-curdling scream is heard from the bathroom. Then nothing. But after another minute or two, another loud scream reverberates through the bar. The bartender goes into the bathroom to investigate why the drunk is screaming. "What's all the screaming about in there?" he yells. "You're scaring my customers. I'm just sitting here on the toilet minding my own business," slurs the drunk. "And every time I flush, something comes up and squeezes the hell out of my nuts." The bartender opens the door, looks in, and says, "You're sitting on the mop bucket."